Beginning. The girl with the strange smile. Vale had learned long ago that the universe never warned you when things were about to go wrong. It didn't hum ominously, didn't flicker its lights, didn't whisper prophecies. But sometimes, someone smiled, and that was enough. The girl's smile was faint, almost shy, but something about it hit Corin harder than any plasma round he'd taken during the siege of Aurelius. Maybe it was the timing. Maybe it was her eyes. Or maybe it was the fact that the smile appeared right as the heavy steel door of the transport shuttle slid shut between them. Corin watched the door seal, locking her inside the passenger bay with the other civilians. He remained on the outside, standing in the cargo section, adjusting supply crates as the shuttle prepared to depart the mining station. The girl had been in one of the back rows, small, quiet, wrapped in a gray cloak that looked older than the station itself. He wouldn't have noticed her at all if she hadn't given him that soft, curious smile. Like she knew him. Like she knew something he didn't. The door locked, and for a moment, everything seemed normal. The hum of the engines, the shift of metal beneath his boots, the low chatter of workers finishing their shifts. Then, a prickling sensation crawled up his spine. The same one he'd felt on the battlefield, right before ambushes. The same one that saved his life more times than luck should have allowed. Something was wrong. Corin stepped away from the crates, hand drifting toward his belt where his sidearm hung. He didn't draw it, but he kept his fingers close. Transport ready for departure, the automated voice announced. Destination. Halion Station. Estimated travel time. 2 hours. The shuttle jolted as docking clamps released. Corin exhaled, trying to shake off the feeling. But then it happened. A sharp, metallic click echoed through the cargo bay, followed by a soft hiss. Followed by the lights flickering once, twice, then dying completely. Darkness swallowed the shuttle. Except for one thing. A silhouette in the shadows. Not human. Corin froze. The creature's outline was wrong. Too many joints, too many angles, too fluid for something made of bone and muscle. Its limbs bent and shifted like they were deciding which shape they preferred. Then he heard something horrifyingly familiar. A mimic chirp. A sound used only by one species. The Kryn. Raiders. Assassins. Infiltrators. They had destroyed entire convoys by slipping aboard as stowaways and striking in blackout conditions. Corin's blood ran cold. He reached for his sidearm. But the creature moved first. Middle. A danger nobody saw coming. Corin rolled sideways just in time. A blade-like appendage slammed into the floor where he had been standing, carving through metal plating like soft clay. Corin fired blindly into the dark. The plasma rounds lit up the cargo bay in quick flashes, illuminating a nightmare. The Kryn was large, its body a shifting mass of black, glassy armor plates. Its eyes were clusters of luminous red dots, like candles burning in a nest of spiders. Its limbs were long, segmented, ending in serrated points. It wasn't alone. 2 more shapes crawled along the ceiling. Corin swore under his breath. This wasn't a random infiltration. This was a coordinated strike. And the passengers, including the strange girl, were locked in the other compartment. He fired again, hitting one creature and forcing it to drop from the ceiling with a screech. But another darted forward, slicing crates in half as it lunged. Corin dodged, but a sharp limb scraped his shoulder, tearing through fabric and skin. Heat seared through his nerves. He stumbled back and slammed his fist against the emergency panel by the sealed door. Nothing. The system was dead. The blackout wasn't incidental. It was engineered. The Kryn wanted the transport disabled, passengers isolated, and the crew eliminated. Corin backed up, firing again, driving the creatures away with bursts of blue-white light. But his magazine was draining fast. Then, from behind the sealed door, he heard something unexpected. A voice.
Soft. Calm.
The girl. Are you all right out there? He froze. Why wasn't she panicking? Why wasn't she screaming like the other passengers? Why wasn't she? A sharp pain grabbed his leg. He fired downward, vaporizing a Kryn limb that had been reaching for him through the crates. Corin Vale, the girl's voice said, clear despite the thick steel between them. You need to move to the front of the ship. His heart skipped. How did she know his name? How do you? Move, she repeated. You are in danger. Yeah, he thought, I figured that part out. But her tone. She wasn't warning him like someone frightened. She was instructing him, guiding him. Corin gritted his teeth and sprinted toward the cockpit access corridor. Two Kryn shrieked and chased after him, claws clattering against metal like knives being dragged over plates. He dove into the corridor and slapped the manual lever. The inner blast shield slid down, blocking the Kryn for the moment. Something heavy slammed against the other side. Corin took a breath and limped toward the cockpit. He didn't know why the girl knew his name. He didn't know why she was so calm. He didn't know why her smile stuck so sharply in his mind. But he knew this. He needed answers. And quickly. The cockpit and an impossible revelation. The cockpit door was cracked open. Corin shoved it aside and entered. The co-pilot was slumped forward, unconscious but alive. The pilot, however, Corin swallowed hard. A deep puncture wound in the chest. Kryn toxin black around the edges. They had taken out the crew before the blackout. Corin sat in the pilot chair, fingers flying over controls.
Dead. Dead.
Shorted. Overridden. The Kryn had disabled everything. Except one system blinked faintly. Local comms, emergency channel. Corin activated it. He expected static. Instead, he heard her. The girl. You made it. Good. Corin leaned closer to the speaker. Who are you? He demanded. Her soft voice replied. My name is Lyra, and I've been waiting for you. His grip tightened on the controls. Waiting? For me? Why? A pause. Then, because you're the only one on this ship who can stop them. Corin cursed under his breath. Lady, I'm a retired soldier, not a superhero. You're wrong, she said gently. You're far more than you believe. Before Corin could argue, the entire cockpit shook violently. The Kryn were cutting through the blast shield. Time was running out. Corin, Lyra said softly, I need you to listen very carefully. There is something important I must tell you. Make it fast. I am not what I appear to be. He narrowed his eyes. You're not human, are you? No, Lyra admitted. But I mean you no harm. I came aboard to warn the passengers. But I cannot fight the Kryn. You can. Corin dragged a hand down his face. A mysterious alien girl. A ship full of civilians. 3 Kryn infiltrators. A disabled transport drifting in space. All waiting for him to figure out the impossible. Why me? He asked. Because the Kryn want you, she replied sternly. They boarded this ship for one reason. Silence stretched. Corin's lungs tightened. What reason? You, she whispered. His blood went cold. The Kryn had hunted him for years after he led the Aurelius defense. He thought they'd given up. He was wrong. Before he could respond, the cockpit door burst inward. A Kryn warrior lunged. Corin dove, firing point blank. The plasma bolt cracked through its chest, lighting the cockpit in a wash of blue flame. The creature convulsed and fell. But the other 2 were almost through the corridor. He needed a plan.
Fast.
And Lyra, whatever she was, seemed to know more than she let on. Okay, Corin said, breathless. What do I do? The final arc. Danger reveals its true face. The Kryn screeched as they shredded through the blast shield. Metal screamed as it bent inward. Lyra's voice remained calm. There is a panel on the right side of the cockpit. Remove it. Corin yanked the panel open. Inside was a strange device, small, silver, and pulsating with soft light. What the hell is this? It's a quantum pulse detonator, Lyra said. Non-lethal to organics. Catastrophic to Kryn biology. Corin blinked. Why is something like this on a civilian transport? Because, Lyra replied delicately, I put it there. You what? A loud crack sounded. A Kryn limb punched through the corridor door. We're out of time, Lyra said. Activate the device. Corin flipped the safety cap and pressed the ignition. The silver sphere began to whine, low at first, then rapidly rising. Throw it.
Now.
Lyra shouted. Corin hurled it down the corridor. The Kryn screeched in panic. A blinding burst of white light filled the ship. Corin shielded his eyes. Silence followed. Then, 3 heavy thuds. The Kryn were down. Corin slumped back against the cockpit wall, chest heaving. Lyra, what are you? He whispered into the comm. The door to the passenger bay slid open, and she stepped out.
Cloak gone.
Human disguise gone. Her true form shimmered, tall, elegant, luminous skin like liquid silver, eyes glowing softly with shifting color. Not a monster, but not human. She approached him slowly. I am an Ethisian, she said. My people watch over civilizations that are targeted by species like the Kryn. Corin tried to stand, but his injured leg trembled. Lyra knelt beside him. I smiled at you, she said gently, because I knew the danger was coming, and because you were brave enough to face it. He let out a humorless laugh. Lucky me. You saved everyone on this ship, she said. And yourself. Corin looked at her glowing eyes. And what about you? She hesitated. I am dying. Corin's breath caught. What? The quantum pulse harms my kind as well. But it was the only option. He grabbed her shoulder.
No.
No, I'm not letting that happen. Lyra smiled faintly, the same soft smile she'd given him before the door shut. You already did more than enough. She placed a gentle hand over his. Then her body flickered. Light seeped from her skin. Lyra. She shook her head. My purpose was to protect life. And you, Corin Vale, gave me the chance to fulfill it. Her body dissolved into shimmering particles that drifted upward, like silver dust floating toward the ceiling. Her final whisper echoed softly. Thank you. And she was gone. Ending. The smile he never forgot. The transport eventually arrived at HFY Station with emergency assistance. The passengers survived. The Kryn threat was neutralized. Corin Vale was credited with stopping an infiltration that would have killed everyone aboard. But he barely heard the praise. His thoughts stayed on Lyra, on her calm voice, her strange knowledge, her sacrifice, her smile, the smile that warned him long before danger revealed itself. He kept one of her silver particles, crystallized in the air after her body dissipated. Scientists said it held no value, no energy, no traceable signature. But Corin knew better. It was all he had left of her. Weeks later, during a quiet night on HFY Station, the particle pulsed once with faint light. Just for a moment. Like a smile. Corin exhaled. Thank you, he whispered back. And somewhere in the vast expanse of the galaxy, he hoped she heard him.